will Devin Williams continue to be the closer? If so, how much of a leash will he have now with the new additions in the bullpen?
Yeah, I think he'll continue, at least at this moment, to be a closer. I did TV most of today with Steve Phillips, the former general manager of the Mets. And he told me a story. And of course, I remember it from having covered that version of the Mets, where I asked him which trade did he regret the most? Deadline trade. And he said, I traded Jason Isringhausen for Billy Taylor. And he said, the problem wasn't only that I traded Jason Isringhausen, but Billy Taylor was closing in Oakland. And then we brought him here to be a setup guy, and set up closers warm up once, get in the game for a clean inning, no outs, nobody on. Setup men sometimes warm up and then someone gets out of an inning with a double play, so they sit down and then they get back up and they get hot, but maybe they don't come in for the hitter they're told. They come in for the next hitter, and they come in and with messes, second and third, one out, get out of it. So that's what David Bednar is used to closing. Camilo Doval is generally used to closing. Devin Williams is used to closing. So whatever they do here, it's going to be, again, Ryan Helsley with the Mets. It is Carlos Mendoza going to basically be able to say, you pitch the eighth. It's going to be a clean inning, and Edwin Diaz will pitch the ninth. Will the Yankees be able to say to David Bednar, you pitch the eighth, and Williams pitches the ninth, and use Luke Weaver again like an attack dog, and use Doval to go after certain lanes that he looks good in, and Bird in certain lanes that he looks good in? It's a lot more options, but some of these guys are going to be asked to do what they haven't been doing. I will say, I think it's important because I do, especially Weaver and Hill, feel like they've pitched a lot, right? And I will say I find it interesting, and we'll see how long this version of the Yankee staff lasts, that what they did was they sent down Yuri De Los Santos, which was kind of obvious. He pitched 3 innings today. He's got options, and Ian Hamilton. They didn't send down Brett Hendricks, right? Who kind of has an interesting lefty arm.
He looked good the other night, Joel.
Yeah, he has an interesting lefty arm. It's very different from Tim Hill's, and Tim Hill needs some help from that side. And so the question is, will that be Hendricks? Like when Hill comes back, that's going to be a fascinating moment. Does Schlittler go down? Does Warren go down? Does Marcus Strowman get removed from the roster? Because there's no sense in putting him in the bullpen. He doesn't make it better, and they don't need a long man, really. Right?
I think that's an interesting question. I guess my counter would, are they better served putting Warren down at AAA and letting Strowman continue to eat some innings for them, and continue to go that route?
By the way, it's a good question. I just think Strowman is operating on this thin line of not really having major league stuff right now that consistently gets a lineup out. Forget about going around the lineup 3 times. Can he go around the lineup twice? Even with a deeper bullpen, you'll be blowing out some bullpen doing it. I kept wondering, and I'm not a fly on the wall in the Yankee group. I kept wondering, were they going to be able to acquire a guy who made some money and include Strowman in the trade? Stuff like that usually doesn't happen, and it didn't happen today. But I kept feeling like if they got Alcantara, would they have been able to say to Miami, we'll give you the 3 prospects you want, but you have to park Strowman's contract for the rest of the year as a counter, because we want to stay payroll neutral, as a counter to Alcantara. And I mean, again, obviously it didn't happen. If you were asking me, do I bet the under or over on Marcus Strowman, say, being in the Yankees by September 1st, I would bet the under, unless they have some more injuries. If Hill comes back well, and especially if Yarborough comes back well, he feels like a casualty of this. I just think the Yankees will go for the high-end arms. I mean, Schlittler's an interesting high-end arm, and look, it's something we've talked about a lot on this show over the course of the year. I think Will Warren has done a really good job for what he came in as the 7th or 8th starter. He's tied for the league lead in starts. He's made every start, and I think in all but 2 of them, maybe 3 of them, when he handed the ball off as the 8th starter, he gave the Yankees a chance to win a game as he did in his last start. Like Yankees win in extra innings, and it's easy to remember with yet more bad defense from Volpe and some crazy plays, Wells forgetting the number of outs,
Oh
etc.
my God.
That Warren kind of like matched Littell and gave the Yankees a shot when their offense didn't perform to be in that game. I think Will Warren has had a nice full rookie year as a back end starting pitcher. And for this team that lost Cole for the whole year and long stretches without Hill, Schmidt, Strowman, it's really been an important thing he did. But you have to worry about him hitting a wall now. This is as far as he's ever gone. It's major league hitters, not minor league hitters. So, I'll be curious how they play this the rest of the year. And I know they kind of like are really intrigued by Schlittler.
Yeah, I mean,
God, I wish he had a different last name. I'm going to screw it up so bad.
it's all good, Joe. We've said way worse on this show than Schlittler's last name. To back up what you're saying about Will Warren, though, and you're 100% spot on here, he's given up 20 earned runs in 9 innings versus the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, and the Braves. However, every other team he's faced this year, his numbers in the 20 games outside of those 3 starts, he's pitched 101 innings, a 2.74 ERA with 117 strikeouts, and a 10.4 strikeout per 9 innings. He leads all rookie starting pitchers in strikeouts per 9 innings, minimum of 40 innings pitched. He's having a hell of a year when you take away those 3 really rough starts.
It's a nice rookie year. It's the kind of rookie year. Again, like we just got through with a trade deadline. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you have Cole coming back. If they feel like, oh, they're going to trade for another starter, say this offseason, or sign a starting pitcher, Warren has made himself valuable in a trade even. Like he's shown he's a major league starting pitcher. And number 4 and 5 starters who can keep their teams in games at a pretty high level with maybe some more ceiling because of the strikeout ability have value. But that value includes to the Yankees, by the way, who know they're going to play without Clark Schmidt all of next year.
Yeah. No, that definitely does. The other thing about the bullpen pieces here, Joel, and going back to Devin Williams here, you're saying that he's going to stay the closer, at least you think for the immediate. Again, another rough outing for him last night. He gives up the lead 2-1 in the 9th inning. What do you think of Devin Williams? He's had that kind of this down, then up, and now he's a little bit back down. Can they rely on him when they have these horses ready to rock and roll as backup versions as a closer?
Yeah, relief pitching is fickle. Ryan, I've seen guys who are, the Yankees won the World Series in 2009. One reason is Damaso Marte pitched great in the postseason. And if you saw him during the regular season, you would have said that's impossible. The Yankees traded for Graham Lloyd in 1996. I encourage Yankee fans, go to Baseball Reference or something. Go look at his ERA from when the Yankees got him from Milwaukee to the end of the season, to the point where the Yankees were, because he had they were unaware. This is how stupid they could be sometimes, right? They were unaware he had a cortisone shot or something in his shoulder. They tried to rescind the trade. If they would have rescinded the trade, they might not have won the World Series, because come the postseason, Graham Lloyd was a dynamic performer, especially in the World Series. He kept retiring Ryan Klesko and Fred McGriff, and then became a real valuable part of a three-peat, especially like 98, 99. He was a really good relief pitcher. So relief pitching is fickle. That being said, Devin Williams, for me, too often does not have control of his fastball. And when he doesn't have control of his fastball, the changeup, which of course is his key pitch, has less meaning. It has less ability for him to kind of get that easy strike one and be operating from 0-1, and then people really chase the changeup. And the difference between him having fastball control and not is the difference between a high-end closer and not. The Yankees do have options now. Again, based on, let's see how Doval and Bednar handle it. And look, for Yankee fans who don't know, you'll see Doval has great stuff, but he's got a chance to walk 3 guys and the bases loaded. If you've watched Doval over time, like he's that kind of guy. He's like kind of a little bit right-handed Gregory Soto, the guy the Mets got, the lefty the Mets got. Like he could hit 1, walk 2, and strike out 3 and have a shutout inning, but it's 45 pitches, and Yankee fans are hiding underneath a couch. Jake Bird has high-end stuff. Is that translating here? Like maybe it plays up. Maybe he goes from having to deal with Coors Field and the stuff suddenly and a not very advanced pitching program to the Yankees advanced pitching program, and the stuff plays up, and maybe he's an incredible wild card in
What's
this.
interesting about Jake Bird, his numbers, he has reverse splits this year. His ERA on the road is horrible compared to
Yeah,
what
I
it is in
know.
Coors Field. It's crazy.
I know. But, we'll see. The Yankees went for high in arms, and I'll throw in one last thing that I think is really important. Bird, Doval, and Bednar all have control years beyond this season. Devin Williams and Luke Weaver are both free agents at the end of the year. I sense that after their experiences with Aroldis Chapman and Zach Britton, that's not a market the Yankees want to play in much anymore, where they give a lot of money to a relief pitcher. So the importance of Bednar, Doval, and Bird, some or all of them pitching well, so that the Yankees feel that that isn't a market they have to go deep into in the offseason, I think is really an important issue also. Again, these are the Yankees. They're only playing the 2025 season. That's how they're put together. That's their historical imperative. But I actually think they set themselves up. If Ryan McMahon's going to play well, and he has control years for 2 more years after this, and especially Doval and Bednar are going to pitch well, these are good moves, not just for 2025, but for the next couple of years.